Welcome back to Limitless Living. I'm Shawn, your host, and today's episode is all about a topic that I'm sure many of you can relate to: being stuck in pain. Whether it's a nagging injury that just won't go away or chronic pain that seems to have no solution, we've all been there. I was there for years myself, and it's exactly why I'm so passionate about helping others get unstuck. So in today's episode, we are going to dive into real reasons why you are stuck in pain, why you might not be getting better despite all of your best efforts, and what you can start doing right now to fix it. Let's start by talking about why the traditional approaches to rehab and to fitness don't always work when it comes to pain relief. Well, a lot of people get stuck in this cycle of rest and recover, hoping that the pain will just go away with time. But the truth is, pain is often a sign that there's something more going on under the surface, something that rest alone will not fix. You might have tried physical therapy, and while it might have helped a little bit, or it got you back to your ADLs or your activities of daily living, that pain starts to creep up again, or you weren't ready to start jumping back into your workout or your sport. Or maybe you've just been told that you just need to strengthen your core or stretch more. While there's truth to those things, they're not always enough on their own. What I found in my own journey and in working with clients is that the root cause of pain is often significantly more complex than that. It's usually a combination of mobility issues or restrictions, strength imbalances, and lifestyle factors. And unless you address all of these together, you're never really going to see the long-lasting, permanent change that you're probably looking for. So let's break down what I mean by flexibility, strength imbalances, and poor movement patterns. First up, flexibility. If you don't have the range of motion necessary for certain movements, you are going to end up compensating. This can lead to overuse of certain musculature, lead to overuse of certain joints that aren't maybe ready or necessarily able to handle the load that you're imposing on them. That eventually leads to pain. For example, if your hips are not flexible enough to allow for proper squat depth, your lower back is probably going to have to compensate by rounding to make up for the missing range of motion. This can lead to low back pain. Or if your shoulders don't have enough mobility, you might experience impingement when pressing overhead. Next is strength and balance. Now, most of us have one side of our body that is stronger or more dominant than the other. We extend this over time, and these imbalances create a situation where certain muscles are working overtime or contributing more force to compensate for the weaker side. This is especially common in the hips, in the shoulders, and in the midline or the core. Lastly, poor movement patterns. If you're not moving with proper mechanics, you're constantly putting unnecessary stress on your joints and on the tissues in ways that they are maybe not necessarily meant to handle. Common example is running with poor form, which can lead to knee, hip, or foot pain. So, how do we fix all this? Well, the first step is to assess. You cannot fix what you do not measure. When someone comes to me with pain, the first thing we do is assess them for flexibility, mobility, strength, and lifestyle. This allows us to see exactly where imbalances are. And if you're stuck in pain, I encourage you to seek out a professional. I would look into an active life professional personally. Seek someone out who will take the time to assess you thoroughly and understand what's going on versus just guessing and throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and hope it sticks. This gives you a roadmap for where to start. If you don't know where your weaknesses and imbalances are, again, it's like throwing darts at a target while blindfolded. Now, let's talk about lifestyle factors. No matter how well you train, if your sleep, your nutrition, your stress levels, and your hydration are out of whack, you're not going to recover effectively. Recovery is key to getting out of pain. Anyone worth anything knows that you train for the opportunity to recover. For instance, poor sleep has been shown to increase sensitivity to pain and slow down tissue healing. Stress, on the other hand, can increase muscular tension and make pain worse. Without proper nutrition, hydration, your body doesn't have the building blocks it needs to repair itself. So if you're dealing with pain, you want to make sure that you're addressing these areas too. It's not just about what you do in the gym, it's about what happens the other 23-ish hours outside of the walls of the facility. Now that we've covered reasons why you might be stuck in pain, let's talk about some actionable steps that you can take today, right now, next time you go to the gym to start moving the needle forward. Number one, like I said, start with an assessment. Could be a self-assessment, or ideally you're working with a coach who knows what they're looking at and looking for. You need to find out where your imbalances are. Flexibility and strength assessments will tell you what you need to work on. Number 2, focus on mobility. If you find that you're lacking range of motion in areas like your hips, your shoulders, your ankles, you need to make mobilizing those tissues a priority. And this doesn't have to be extensive or arduous. This can be as simple as adding 5 to 10 minutes of focused stretching or active range mobility drills before and or after your workouts. Number 3, you need to strengthen your weak points. Once you know where your imbalances are, you need to target them with specific strength work. For example, one leg is weaker than the other, you need to incorporate single leg exercises like lunges, step-ups, kickstand squats, etc. Number 4, don't forget about your lifestyle. You need to make sure you're sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night. You need to be eating balanced diet, rich in nutrients. You need to stay hydrated, and you need to manage your chronic stress levels. So that's going to be it for today. I hope this gave you some insight into why you might be stuck in pain, and more importantly, how you can start addressing it and start making some decided improvements in your current state. Remember, pain does not have to be a life sentence. The right approach, you can get out of pain and back to doing what you love. My ask is, if you found this helpful, I want you to share it with someone who you know might be struggling with some pain, might be frustrated. And don't forget to follow me Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at Coach Shawn. That's Coach Shawn with 2 N's at the end for more tips, more tricks, and updates on future episodes. Thank you again. I sincerely appreciate you tuning in, and I will catch you next week.